What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Popcom. And today we're going to actually be going over my comic haul that I did, my first one that I am going to be reviewing. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. So I want to start off by saying thanks again for all the support and the views and more people subscribing. I really appreciate it, guys. I really love this comic book community, and I'm really just falling deeper into it, and I just really enjoying it. So anyways, let's just jump into this. So my first comic book haul, I'm actually starting to collect the Amazing Spider-Man. My run that I'm starting is in the 200s. So we can go ahead and get into that. I wanted to say a little bit about my local, the LCS that I go to is called All About Books and Comics, and it's really cool the way they have it set up as far as half the shop, the main shop has all the newer stuff and all like the graphic novels and pops and collector cards and stuff like that. And then in between that shop and right next door, there's like a barber shop. And then on the other side of that is like a discounted warehouse, which is also as part of the All About Books and Comics. And in that shop, they have basically all like the dollar bins and all the overflow and the older stuff that you can find for like $1 or $2. So I really like how they have it split into two different actual shops. It makes it easier to find stuff, I feel. This shop has been around for about 35 years, and it's, your local mom and pop shop that is ran by a husband and wife. And, I went in there with not knowing a lot, and I let them know right away that, I'm new to comics, I'm really into Spider-Man, and they just welcomed me with open arms and were very helpful. And I just have nothing but great things to say about that place. My LCS that I'll be going to is All About Books and Comics. So if you guys are ever in Arizona, I definitely would suggest you guys checking it out. It's a really awesome store. And so yeah, guys. So the first one I got is issue 201 of The Amazing Spider-Man. And this one was released in February of 1980. And it's considered a Bronze Age comic. The cover art was done by Bob McLeod and John Romita. And then the writer for this one is Marv Wolfman. But I really like this cover with the Punisher and Spider-Man. And that's what actually got me started in the 200s, because I saw this cover and I was like, man, this would be a good run to start collecting in the 200s. So that is number 201, The Amazing Spider-Man. The next one I got is 202, and this one was released in March of 1980, which is also Bronze Aged. The cover art was done by Joe Rubenstein and Keith Pollard, and the editor-writer is Marv Wolfman. And this one is the one for those long gone. And yeah, man, I'm really liking this one as well too. I'm liking the art. I'm liking how there's so many different artists and different takes on, shading and the storylines are really good. I mean, they might not have the best art and the newest techniques and stuff, but I think the stories are what do it for me right now with this Amazing Spider-Man. So this one is 209, and this one was released in October of 1980 as well, and it is the Bronze Age, of course. And this was actually the first appearance of Kraven the Hunter, which you can see him right here. And also, I'm sorry, not the first appearance. This was just an appearance by Kraven the Hunter, but the first appearance of Calypso was the first one. He's actually his first appearance is in this one. And then the cover art was done by Alan Weiss, and the writer on this one is Dennis O'Neil. So that one's pretty cool. I'm kind of excited. I haven't read this one yet, so I don't really know much about Kraven the Hunter or Calypso, so I'm looking forward to reading this one and getting more familiar with those guys. This next one that I have is number 212, and this one was released in January of 1981, which also would make it a Bronze Age. And this is actually Hydro Man's first appearance, and it's Spidey faces the wet threat of Hydro Man. So this one's really cool too. They did really cool cover art on this, really good shading and stuff. I'm noticing that some of the artists, they do certain type of shades and certain types of colors, and I'm starting to catch on to that on which ones are doing that as well. So this cover art was done by John Romita Jr. So the first one I showed you was John Romita for number 201. Now this is his son, John Romita Jr., that did this cover, and the writer on this one is also Dennis O'Neil as well. And also Al Milgram is another one that helped with the cover art as well. This next one is 217, and this one is the Hydro Man and Sandman team up on Spider-Man. And on this one, it was released in June 1981, and it's also considered Bronze Age, and the cover is done also by John Romita Jr. and Al Milgram as well, and the writer on this one is Dennis O'Neil. And I had a chance to read this one. I really liked this one. This one was a good issue, and I really enjoyed that one. This next one is number 219, and it was released in August 1981, and that's also considered Bronze Age. The cover, I'm not sure on who did this one. The only thing I can see, it shows right here that it says right here in the bottom FM. So that's not Franklin McInnes, but it just says FM. I couldn't find on who that is. So if anybody knows who FM is, or if I'm reading it wrong, you guys can let me know, but it looks like it says FM. But anyways, if you guys know who did this cover art, please put it down in the description. I would like to know on who did this cover art. And the story on this one was pretty good as well. I really enjoyed this one. So that is, the cover art was done by FM. That's all I really know. And then the writer on this one was Dennis O'Neil. So this next one is the last one that I picked up, and that's number 224. And this one was released in January 1982, and this one's also Bronze Age. And this one was titled Let Fly These Aged Wings, and this was an appearance by the Vulture. And he's a pretty good villain. I like that Spider-Man and him, the way they interact with each other. It's pretty interesting. So this one was, the cover art was done by John Romita Jr. again. And the writer is actually changed up, and it was the first run by Roger Stern. So that was pretty interesting. It was pretty well known, and I'm noticing that John Romita Jr., he likes to do this dark shading. In a lot of the images, it's really like dark with a little bit of lighter colors around. I'm noticing that a lot of his cover art, he likes that dark shading. But yeah, so that one was a good one as well. But yeah, that's my small little comic book haul for now. And some of the things that I have questions on, and like I told you, you guys, I'm new to this. I'm not very experienced. If you have any tips or anything to help me kind of review these better, or things that you want me to cover a little more, please let me know. I'm open to any type of criticism or any type of help to make these better videos for you guys. But some things that I would also like to know is, I'm not too sure what annual issues mean. So if you guys can let me know in the comments, what are annual issues? I don't know what key issues are. I know key issues are, I guess, like the more popular ones that people try to find, and they're harder to find. So I think that's what key issues are. And then the last one is, are there any variant covers for these older comics, for the Bronze Age comics? Because I know all the newer ones have like variant covers. I'm not sure if the Bronze Age comics have any type of variant covers. So if you guys can let me know those key points, I would really greatly appreciate it, guys. And until next time, stay awesome.